Have you ever wondered how somebody starts out in property and next thing you know, they've got an entire portfolio? I started with minus 33,000 and 10 years on, I have over 100 properties fully owned in my name. I'm going to show you how you can do it too. Let's deep dive into the secrets of scaling a property portfolio and how you can retire rich. And I want to focus on certain investment hotspots that I've been focused on. But this is for you if you are getting started or you're ready to look to scale up. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you're going to have the tools and strategy to take your property investments to the next level. The foundation of property investment. Before you can scale your property empire, you need to understand the basic principles of property investment. And we break these down into three key pillars. Number one, research. You've got to know your area inside out, and you might have heard of this as your gold mine area. We need to look at emerging hotspots like where I invest in Yorkshire. So these are areas surrounding Leeds, Sheffield and York. This is like the triangle, the hotspot. They're thriving, there's always opportunity, and we're looking for undervalued areas ready for growth. And I'm going to clarify that for a second. Undervalued areas, not an undervalued property. And a lot of people think that a good investment means getting a discount on the property. We're analyzing the area that we believe is primed for growth. Number two, cash flow. Always aim for positive cash flow. And cash flow is essentially the rent that comes in, all of the money goes out, and is it a positive figure? The goal is to make sure that your rental income covers all of your costs and leaves you with a tidy profit. So you're not going to quit your job on a boring vanilla buy-to-let, of course, but we at least want to be covering our costs and getting a drink at the end of each month. And what we're going to do is we typically would start with your 5 buy-to-let properties before you look into any other strategies, which could be HMOs, lease options, serviced accommodations, if we want to accelerate and scale a lot faster. But start with your first 5 boring vanilla buy-to-let properties. Number 3, leverage, OPM. Don't be afraid to use other people's money. Banks, lenders, private lenders, institutional investors, private loans, joint ventures. They're all tools that can and should be utilized to help you acquire more properties without putting down your own cash. And what we want to do is utilize other people's money to accelerate that journey. It's a great way to start scaling to use leverage, meaning borrowed capital to fund your property purchases. Now, you have to get this right. What you don't want to do is over-leverage. Over-leveraging is when you take on too much debt as a percentage that you could end up getting priced out. There's risk in market fluctuations. So I'm just going to give you a good protocol. You should go up to 75 to 80% of the market value. Now, this is really helpful because it means you can build a multi-million-pound portfolio using other people's money. Think logically about this. Who's really taking the risk? You that's putting in 25% or the bank putting in 75%? I'll let you make the choice. So now we've got this 3-stemmed approach. Let's dive into some real examples to show you how this actually works in practice. Building a property empire from scratch. So let's break down a hypothetical example of this and how we might start from scratch, build a property empire that generates wealth and allows you to retire early. So let's focus on the journey of somebody we'll call Alex. So Alex is in his mid-20s, he works a full-time job, and he's done our Aspire Education EPTA program. And now what he's managed to do is save up and utilize capital. Let's say 50 grand. So it's not a huge sum to be building up to scale the portfolio, but you got to start with one property. So starting out, Alex looks at a variety of locations. Maybe he ends up zeroing in on Yorkshire, which is my gold mine area. And really what he does is he doubles down on just on the outskirts of Leeds. With 50k in hand, he finds a 2-bedroom terrace for 175,000 in a desirable area just outside the city centre. And what he does is he utilises the standard buy-to-let mortgage. So he puts down a deposit of £43,750, roughly 25% of the purchase price, and he secures a mortgage for the rest. So before Alex moves a tenant in, he gives the property some TLC, some tender loving care, doing a light refurb, or what I like to call a bit of a tart-up. So we're going to do carpets, paint, just really refreshing air. And what this does is it enhances the value of the property or the perceived value. And what I mean by perceived value is when you're looking to move into a property, you want to be able to move in and visualize yourself there. And if it's got manky carpets and rough walls, it's not really going to do. So we might also update the kitchen and look to improve the curb appeal. Basically, what's a garden like and everything else. So we're looking to boost the property's market price here, making it a smart investment whilst also focusing on long-term profits. And what this does is Alex is going to attract a really strong tenant over the long term that's going to make Alex's house their home. And also in the meantime, Alex is going to enjoy some nice passive income. So he's going to rent out this property for around £1,000 a month, covering mortgage payments. And it's this great balance of regular income and nice capital gains. And what I'm talking about there is Alex has been smart. He's not just picked the cheapest area in the world. What he's done is he's focused on an area that is undervalued. So there's so much going on. There's development, there's hospitals, there's cinemas, there's big investment plans in the area. And all of this investment is going to scale up the area and increase the value of Alex's property over time. Remember this and write this down. You will become a millionaire in property through the ownership, not the rental income. Step 2, Alex is going to scale up by adding more properties in the portfolio. Through EPTA, Alex has then doubled down on his other businesses within property and started generating more significant money. The property is now appreciated even more in value, and Alex's rental income is now coming in steadily. Now, Alex decides to scale. With positive cash flow and an increase in equity, Alex can refinance and release some of that equity in the first property. And this time, Alex chooses to invest in a HMO, a house of multiple occupancy. So maybe somewhere where the student population is large, the demand for the rooms are high, and renting out individual rooms instead of the whole house, Alex's second property now brings in £2,000 a month. Now, in general, I recommend getting your first 5 buy-to-lets and then moving on, but Alex is able to accelerate this from his education. The significant increase in this cash flow makes it easier for Alex not only to draw in more cash, but also look at maybe cutting down his hours in his job and spend more time in his property-related business. And as he merges these together with his deal packaging business, his HMO business, he's able to plow in and reinvest the profits and leverage this equity, which brings me to step number 3. Step 3 is we want to really scale this up. So as the income of the properties come in, and with Alex's business, and we're going to encourage him through EPTA, our educational program, to scale up his deal packaging business, all of this is going to get reinvested. Now, because Alex picked the right areas and we analysed the areas of investment, the added equity and increase over time means that he can refinance that and pull it out and reinvest. Now, the way this might look, by the way, is slow and steady at the start. And if you ever watch one of my videos where I break down my wealth increase, year 1 was minus 33 grand for me because of debt and getting it started with private loan and a credit card. End of year 1, it was 118,000. End of year 2, I had 300,000, and so on and so forth. By the end of year 9, it was 11.6 million. That was my net worth. And I did this exact strategy. And so what this does is when the values go up, you get new debt every couple of years on the portfolio, new mortgages. But now it's at 75% of the new value. So that money comes in, pays off the old mortgages, and you're left with a nice pot. And Alex gets to go again and again. Which moves Alex to step 4, where he's looking to maximize his portfolio efficiency. So as Alex's portfolio grows, he begins to optimize the efficiency of his holdings, his assets. He really looks into professional property management to free up more time and ensure everything runs smoothly. And this is where you start to get to the point where you're buying your time back. So you get management agents in, and Alex is now able to spend the time making strategic decisions. And once you've got your portfolio, you can analyze the underperforming assets. And we do it all the time, by the way. Investments over 10 years you thought would be good, and you want to rebalance the portfolio. But now Alex has got this experience because of his education now and the implementation. He can now explore other financial options like joint ventures, crowdfunding, or loans to accelerate this. And what will happen in his early 40s, so over a 10-year period, you'll quickly find that Alex is a net worth multi-millionaire. He's got over a £5 million portfolio. It's going to be generating 150 grand net cash flow. And ultimately, Alex can comfortably retire. He can live off his passive income and travel anywhere in the world. Now, the reality is it takes time. But many people that watch these videos, and you might be one of them, by the way, they want to get rich quick, and that's just not reasonable. Instead, what we want to be doing is looking at how we can accelerate this journey, because becoming a millionaire doesn't take decades. It doesn't take tens of years, but it can be done in 3 to 5 years, and you can certainly quit your job within 12 months. So how do we actually take the action and start building this property empire? Not just in investments, but building the business. Let's break it down into a few actionable steps. So number one, we need to double down on our property strategy. What do you want to achieve? Are you looking for long-term growth, cash flow? Write down your property goals and plan your strategy accordingly. Number two, don't rush the process. Don't try and go out and buy 10 properties in one go. You start by getting your mentor in place, getting educated properly, and starting with 1 or 2 buy-to-lets, HMOs, lease options, service accommodation, whatever is right for you. And we want to ensure that we're getting the cash flow from the outset that can comfortably cover the costs. Number three, start to develop your relationships. So property investment is all about relationships. It's a people business. So you want to get in touch with your local agents, your contractors, your coaches, your managers. And what this is going to do is help develop your network and open doors that you didn't have available to you before. Not only did I say this is a people business, but I'd actually go as far to say that your network is your net worth. Moving on to number four, reinvest your profits. This is one of the biggest things. It's called delayed gratification. So if you look at my wealth curve, which you can see here, you'll notice that it was quite flatlined, and then it started to accelerate. And the reason why it started to accelerate so aggressively is building a property portfolio, building your wealth, building a property-related business, kind of like moving this big boulder up a hill. And people see you pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And it kind of gets to the precipice of the top of the hill, and it kind of goes like that. And then it starts rolling. It's like, holy shit, this is really scaling now, right? So as your portfolio grows, your equity grows, the business grows, and it means you can unlock more opportunities than you've ever seen before. And right now, for example, honestly, most businesses past 10 years, they don't actually die from starvation. They die from choking on the opportunity that's presented to them. And you have to learn how to say no. It will really shock you. A lot of people see like the overnight success. I get it all the time. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, I've only been going for around 10 years. I'm 33 now, really got started at sort of like 22, 23. And now we make millions in profit every single year. And people are like, where did that come from? It's because they didn't see the sequences before. But if you follow the steps in this video and you take massive action, it will push you to that next level. And now what I want you to do is you'll watch this video, and you'll maybe be one of those people that go, cool, next video, next video, next video. And actually, that's not, the knowledge isn't the power, it's the application of the knowledge that actually makes a difference. The other half of you watching this, you'll be like, I'm ready to take action on this. I'm ready to implement it. I'm ready to push to the next level. And it's you that I'm talking to right now. If you're ready to start implementing this and you want to be a part of a movement, a collaboration, a team that's actually doing some really cool things, and you're not messing around, you're ready to implement this, I'm going to put a link in the description. Click on there and you're going to have your opportunity to book in your free one-to-one strategy session. And on this strategy session, we're going to take you through where you're at, where you want to get to, and if it's right for each other, we'll show you how we can actually help you go from 0 to £100,000 in your first 12 months of taking action. And if that's not for you, I look forward to you watching the next video. But if it is, I look forward to having a chat and making this year and your future the brightest it can possibly be. I hope this video has been valuable for you. Make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell. And if you did get value, lightly tap the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.